Can I talk this why it's important for you to kind of like focus on your culture and heritage and help your people as well, especially women specifically?
Because I didn't have that. So I saw that gap of, people weren't girls weren't confident. It's okay to be confident. Yeah. And I think I get that a lot. It's like, ¿quién se cree? Like, who does Yvonne think she is? Who does Spoiled Latina think she is? That's like, why are you using that name? But we're all spoiled. We all should spoil ourselves. We work entirely too hard as men and women. Mm-hmm. Classify yourself as after the spoil, put whatever you want after that. But consider yourself like we should. Mm-hmm. We deserve it, whatever it is. So I really saw that gap, and it's been difficult trying to like get people to, figure out what spoiled means, but it's the self-care part.
Thank you for tuning again to the COSIGN Conversations podcast. I am your host, KG Graham. I am here in Houston with a very, very, very special guest. As you guys may know, we've been promoting a very special event series coming to Houston, and I couldn't come to Houston without tapping in with our special guest. So for those who are wondering, I am here with entrepreneur, brand consultant, lifestyle curator, blogger, influencer, mom, wife, all around GOAT. Yvonne, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. I know sometimes when you do so much, it's hard to take, some time away and, make time to do interviews or meet new people, especially if you don't really know them. So I want to say thank you for doing this interview and thank you for being so welcoming.
It's my son.
Hey, I know how it is. I have a 16-year-old daughter. She sends me.
Anthony. Oh, he hung up. Could you call him?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she sends me, definitely. My daughter sends me Cash App requests literally every day.
he's like, send me Apple Pay. I'm like, okay, I will.
But let's kind of take it to the beginning. I want to go to the beginning when I do these interviews. There's stuff that I've done my social media scrub, websites, and I've seen stuff. But I want to go with like, you really have a cool lifestyle. You host events, you work with brands. But how did you even get into it?
Okay. Yeah, so you're taking me back.
Let's go back.
Down memory lane.
Yes.
Well, geez, how did I start? Okay, so I guess you could say that, my husband has a record label. Okay. So I think that's
you gotta say which
like how my journey
though.
Started. I had to. Swisher House.
Okay, just so they know.
Swisher House?
Of course they know. If they don't, they can't be a fan of COSIGN.
So, right? Okay, good. So he has a record label. I was working on my own. But I knew that they needed some help that only women can do. Come in and straighten some things out, do some admin work for them. The Paul Wall, all of that, they did great. Okay. But while I was working there doing things, I also didn't want to just be his wife and, work for him and elevate his brand because I really wanted to do something for myself too.
Your own identity.
So, yeah. So randomly someone called me a Spoiled Latina on a video set. And because I was asking for something to be changed or something, and I was called a Spoiled Latina, and
that's what they called you?
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, you're Spoiled Latina," and instead of taking it bad, like the negative term of the spoiled, I'm like, I like that, and so I created a Gmail. Whenever I would pay my bills, they loved the email, and it was so catchy. And then I created a blog. It was like the beginning of, I would say, the internet, but not old. But yeah, I started a blog, Spoiled Latina. I'm a lover of life, fashion, beauty, and entertainment. And so I just wanted to write about whatever.
Okay.
And I did that. I focused on like how to make money on the internet, blogging, talking about whatever I like. So it was the beginning of, the word influencer wasn't even came up. It was blogger. But I started investing in myself, going to different conferences, and learning about that. So I would travel outside. And in 2012, 2013, I was at a conference in Miami.
Okay.
I don't know how the word Hennessy came up. Probably because I was drinking it. That's probably the only reason that it came up. But the person that was there was a marketer. He worked at an agency, and he said, Hennessy is like my client.
Okay.
And they're starting a new program. I heard they're starting a new program, Team Hennessy. It was already around with like on the urban scene. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that job. Like, I'm Henny from the block.
I like that.
Yeah. And so, whatever, I left Miami, came home, you know, did my thing. And then a friend of mine reached out and he's like, hey, there's a gig happening. Anyway, I started working for the brand. I started working for Hennessy. So he's
you're
like,
a curator of sorts?
Yeah, so I started with Team Hennessy. It was like 4 of us in the United States, Miami, New York, Houston, and Chicago, I believe. And 4 of us just trying to turn up Hennessy. I say Hennessy. Trying to turn up the brand and making, you know, Latinos drink it. So I did. I kind of helped with like push the needle on that.
Okay. And how long do you do that for?
For about 4 years.
Okay.
And then I stopped and I focused on my blog.
Okay.
And I did really well working with different brands, taking it serious.
So before we jump into, let's talk about this. How they find you at this time? Because now Instagram is a thing, LinkedIn's a thing, so you can go search these brands or you can search who they work for. But since you were early on, were they just coming to you finding your blog?
Randomly. If I put my email out there, they'll just send, hey, we want to send you lipsticks. Sure. You know, try it out.
Gotcha.
It got to the point to where I was like, oh, I want to get paid for stuff. So when I got a call, somebody called me. They're like, hey, you want to be a judge at this liquor event? And I'm like, sure. How much are they paying? And he's like, nothing. It's just exposure. And I'm like, hey, at this point, I don't want to do exposure stuff. And he's like, you know what? Hennessy's looking for a brand, like an ambassador in the Latin space. Do you want to do it? And I said, yeah, like introduce me to them. So a week later, I was on a call with them over like Zoom or I don't even know if Zoom was existing.
Maybe Skype or something?
Yeah, Skype. And so I was on Skype. And then the next week I was hired and I was in New York working, like learning about the brand of my favorite brand. I love Maker Street, but you know, just learning about them, and it changed my life. That's really like where Spoiled Latina became. I think that's where it started, and I just kind of branded myself with the brands that I started aligning with. Yeah.
Okay. From there, you're producing events for other brands and curating content. But when you decided I want to start doing my own events and build my own community?
When I saw that I was making the same or more than I was making with the brand on my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember your first event?
With who?
Your own event.
My own? Well, honestly, my first in real life event started when I started working with the brands.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did like events for him and stuff like that, but never for Spoiled Latina, I don't think. I celebrated my blog's 7-year anniversary. Okay. And that's when I got recognized by the city and I got a day proclaimed in my honor. And that was in 2015. Yeah.
Spoiled Latina Day.
Yvonne Guidry.
Okay.
They did change it.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Is that one like the high points of your career, you would say, like being...
I think recognized, by the city that adopted me because I moved here. I'm not from Houston. I was born in Corpus, raised in the Valley, and I say I'm paid in the HCX.
Shout out to Corpus.
Shout out to Corpus in the Valley. But yeah, so I came here. But yeah, that's definitely one of my things. And then also, just everybody that I worked with, the connections that I made. The city's cool.
Gotcha.
I love it here.
Let's talk about relationships because I just seen a post on social media. It was like a clip of TD Jakes talking about business is really built on relationships. And I do agree. I've been put in so many amazing rooms and so many amazing opportunities off of relationships. So to give you an example, as you know, I work with like a lot of great partners like Maker's Mark, Tedeschi and Tequila, etc. And what started off, Hennessy as well, started off as, just kind of like client work, helping producing events. I built a relationship, we became cool. So now it's like COSIGN is like the go-to agency vendor in the city of Dallas, not only because of the work we do, but because they like to work with us. It's a great experience and they know we'll produce it well. Talk to us about the importance of relationships, how you've been able to like build long-lasting relationships across multiple industries and markets while balancing life and everything else I have going on.
I think relationships that's the number one thing that you can have in this life is friends in high places and friends who can get you out of stuff and just friends who really care about you. people who really care about you. I think really, I mean, gosh, that's like the heart and soul of what I do.
Yeah.
Is build. Honestly, some relationships might not work,
Right.
you know, as much as you try, but that's not on you. It's like literally the way the universe works. Like just God's maneuvering you a different way. But relationships matter. I think I really believe in not breaking bridges. Yeah, I'm just all about relationship. That's how I've gotten to where I have. Yeah, like I keep relationships from like 10 years ago. They're at different agencies now, and I can still call them up, you know, because as they're not working with who I met them with, but now they're working with somebody else. So now we have 10 years now.
For sure. And I'm sure like the companies they left, they still refer you like, hey, I'm not there anymore, but reach out to this person, you know, if you want to stay.
And I do the same. I think it goes both ways. You know, you have to recommend people because you can't do everything. Right. I know I can't do everything. So when people reach out to me, and I get brands asking me all the time, what other content creators can we work with? So I try to put people on because I can't. Right. Yeah, I'm not like the key target person that they're looking for every time.
But now I know you do so much more besides just work with brands. Like you have your own agency. You still produce amazing events, Spoiled Latina Summit.
Yeah.
What else are we missing?
What else am I missing? I don't know. You do a lot. You really said a lot. I have my merch, the Spoiled Latina merch. I just recently announced I have a 501c3 that I just launched.
Nonprofit.
Yay, it's a nonprofit.
Salute to you.
It's called Jefita Atrevida. Cheers to that. It's called Jefita Atrevida. It's basically for the daring boss, you know, someone who's really daring, and you have to put yourself out there. I think
for sure.
You have to bet on yourself, and that's my way of like helping people out. Because when I first started, I didn't have like help, you know, when it's really hard to ask for help and people don't really want to help you because they think you're going to take their spot. But it's really, so I give back like that. I love to give advice and put people on.
Kind of like mentoring stuff too.
So that's what it is. That's literally what it is, providing resource and mentorship for entrepreneurs who want to
Did you have a mentor?
Scale. I did once I became an adult.
Okay.
I don't think I did. So when young people reach out, like to try to intern or something, I really try. Yeah. There's a high schooler right now who reached out to me. Actually, her teacher reached out to me.
Okay.
She's like, I have this young girl. I think she'd be great. So
okay, so you're taking on your wing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I also want to talk about, it is Hispanic Heritage Month. I want to talk about, you know, kind of like, we talked about how you built Spoiled Latina, where it came from, but now how you kind of like dialed in and, you know, focused on, you know, supporting other Latinas, bringing them up, raising them up as long as you grow as well. Can I talk this why it's important for you to kind of like focus on your culture and heritage and help your people as well, especially women specifically?
Because I didn't have that. So I saw that gap of, you know, people weren't girls weren't confident. It's okay to be confident. Like, and I think I get that a lot. It's like, ¿quién se cree? Like, who does Yvonne think she is? Who does Spoiled Latina think she is? That's like, why are you using that name? But we're all spoiled. We all should spoil ourselves. We work entirely too hard as men and women. You know, classify yourself as after the spoil, put whatever you want after that. But consider yourself like we should. We deserve it, whatever it is. So I really saw that gap, and it's been difficult trying to like get people to, you know, figure out what spoiled means, but it's the self-care part. It's really, our parents didn't teach us that, so.
Not at all.
I'm trying to teach us.
No, it's important. I know within our community, like in Dallas with COSIGN, we talk a lot about, you know, balance, self-care, because a lot of people, they just work all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for us to like separate. And separate work from personal. I still deal with that.
But that's entrepreneurship, life. Like it's intertwined in what we do.
But when do we get to that point to where it is kind of like separated? So for example, I was interviewing somebody the other day, and I told him, I want better for both of us, because, you know, we try to delegate, but sometimes when you delegate, you're still kind of like overlooking, watching like, okay, I hope they do it right. When you look at people who run, you know, successful multi-million-dollar companies, they don't know what's going on every day within their offices. So it's like, how do we get to that point?
You have to let go. Yeah, I slowly have started to let go and let people do other things that I would do. It's hard because that's your baby and that's who's gonna run it like you. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I'm not there yet.
No, I know I'm not there yet. I still delegate, but I'm also like, let me go.
But I'm really like, okay, that's not how you write the email. That's not the voice of the brand. You know, so I do have to. Switch some things.
Okay, this brings a good point. Do you let them do it and then correct them? Or do you like do it with them until they get it right?
Well, I show them.
Okay.
I show them. I'll write an email and say, like, you know, kind of like this. Some people think that they could be extra friendly because that's just their personality. Right. But I think especially if the person doesn't know you and you're writing on behalf of me, you can't be that extra friendly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like you don't know them yet. But it's just before they send the email, I proofread.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything?
No.
Okay.
But I mean, you have to. No, I've gotten to the point. Yeah, some are good.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just
a good smart team. Otherwise,
what's the point of having?
What's the point of spending money every week?
No. I definitely agree. I know this is kind of off topic, but I would like to ask people like their favorite quote because it kind of like dives into who they are as a person and what they kind of resonate with.
Tell me, my mom would tell me this is like, tell me who you hang out with and I'll tell you who you are. So I try to be around like positive people, people who are better than me that I can learn from, people like that. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point. It's you familiar with 19 Keys?
Nope.
So he's like a global thought leader. He's a part of like this whole Earn Your Leisure network.
Maybe. Okay, I've heard of that.
So he had a show in Dallas. It's basically like a speaking engagement. It's powerful, about like hour long. And he said, elevation requires separation.
Yeah, and I also think that your attitude determines your altitude too.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's like you have to have a good attitude, and honestly, a lot of people can't take direction, not like proper or good criticism, to help you elevate.
Yeah.
So I think the attitude that you have when somebody tries to give you a suggestion will elevate like how far you go in that space. Imagine you getting upset because Maker said, hey, we really would like for you to do this way, but you're stuck on doing it your way. Like you have to meet their goal.
Definitely.
To get that check.
Exactly. I'm gonna do 90% of whatever it takes.
Yeah. And it's good attitude.
The 10%, depends as long as it aligns with morals and stuff like that. But you gotta be willing and open to, to get out your way. Get out your own way.
Yeah.
Some people are stuck in their own way.
We can definitely get in our own way.
Oh, no.
Our mind is crazy sometimes.
Definitely. We have, we have this thing at COSIGN called COSIGN Conversations. It's nothing negative. It's more so talking about, like our Instagrams and our social media are like highlight reels, right? We're promoting and posting all the wins. Sometimes we have like transparency moments, but it's not as much as we showcase our wins, right? So can you confess a time to where, you wanted to quit or you had like failure after failure after failure and you're like, I don't know, this is working, and then how you overcame like that adversity?
Every year I have it for my event, right before the Spoiled Latina Summit.
It's amazing. Why?
Because it's just so much work.
Yeah.
Like it's just a lot of work, and you really want to put on an event, an experience, and it's just like, who am I doing it for? But then when they show up and everybody's excited and all the lives that are being transformed, it's just, this is why I did it. Like, thank God. And then I get reminded by my staff. They're like, see, the other day when you were crying and you couldn't figure it out. I'm like, you're right. So yeah, there's definitely those moments. There's imposter syndrome. There's people doing the same thing that you're doing, literally copying and pasting, which is fine. But there's so much to go around that now that I'm older, I'm like, there's so much money, y'all.
Right,
like we're fighting over nothing.
Yeah.
They're not looking at the real picture.
No, they're not. And let's break that down because we do know a lot of event producers and curators, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you have your own sauce, but kind of like let's break down what goes in to producing Spoiled Latina Summit because when I see it, it looks so amazing, right? So
I'm planning right now for July of 2024, like literally right now.
See, so that's the first thing. So you plan year in advance each year?
Yeah, you have to. And
Okay.
I'm going to give y'all some game.
Okay,
Because
let's
right
do it.
now, in September, October, is when the brands are planning their next year.
Mm-hmm.
And because they're off in November, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, they're like, it's done. The year's done after October. So we really need to get in front of their faces now, present ideas, what you want to do from January through May, and then May through whatever, each quarter, and see what fits their goals. Like what they have their initiatives, and then you just got to come in there and be like, does it work? I can tweak it, whatever. But yeah, get ahead is so proper planning. That a team who's dedicated to like the mission, great attitudes, but it's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it takes a lot. I'm all about branding. There's so many elements.
Very attention to detail, like there's branding everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't want to skip over something because I feel like there's a lot of gains, what you just said. So pitching now, or like giving them ideas now for next year, do you pitch, well, two questions. Do you pitch multi-year deals? And also, do you pitch all your events at one time and then let them pick from there? Or are you doing it as you go?
You could do both. So from the experience that I have now is that brands have what they want to do each quarter.
Right.
And they have like things that they're focused on for that year, whether it be sustainability, whether it be, just a Hispanic market.
Right.
I don't know, organizations like 501c3s and charities. It just depends. So you go in there. I think you can do both. You can submit it all, but honestly, you don't remember everything that you're doing the next year. But there's dollars for that too. There's dollars set aside for like the just in case shit happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, somebody comes in. It's not going to be the top tier dollars. It's going to be a couple $1,000, but it's not going to be like what you want.
It's large shit.
Yeah.
So for Spoiled Latina the summit specifically, right now, this is what year are you in?
Okay, so this was my 8th year. This last year,
Okay.
It was sponsored by Chase.
Okay, shout out
Chase
to
in
Chase.
the bag.
Shout
We're
out to
chasing the bag. Chase was there teaching entrepreneurship. We had Buchanan's, Diageo. Sorry, y'all, but I think Maker's is gonna be a participant next year.
That's cool. We'll just cut that other part out.
Yeah, cut that out. Who else do we have? But no, my thing is I like to bring. I just want women to come together and have fun, meet each other. It's like a retreat.
Right.
It's literally like a family reunion. People are coming every year. They're telling their friends about it. I had Becky G here before.
Oh, wow.
She was my keynote speaker. I had Julissa Bermudez just last year.
Okay.
The year before. Who would I have?
I mean, you get into the bag because these
I
people
am.
are not.
They're big. And then the fact also, this is another thing, is I had to work to build my name so that way Becky could say yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to just come to an event and you haven't worked your butt off to like say, oh yeah, I think this is a great event. Like I should try to.
I mean, but you have some powerful cosigns. I'm getting old, so my mind is a little off. But if I remember, like you've been co-signed by some huge artists.
I have.
And brands. So like, not even just the brand, but the artist specifically. Like your stamp. So I mean, outside looking in, I feel like if somebody comes to the city, of course they're going to work with you or be a part of what you have going on.
Yeah, I'm older now, so I'm not out in the scene as much with like all of that, which is awesome because there's younger girls like Jay Mulan who's out there like getting it in the urban scene. There's nobody doing it in my scene. I think I'm the no, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot of opportunity out here, and I forgot what you were saying.
Yeah. So I don't want to name drop, but if you want to give a few.
Oh yeah, let's name. So I worked for Diddy. I worked for Diddy. French wanted me to work for him too while I was under that. I was just too busy. I really I want to be like French. I want to be the artist. I want to be the. So who else have I worked with? I don't know.
What'd you do with Diddy?
Cheekies. I was the brand ambassador for Ciroc.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And De Leon tequila.
Okay.
So I started De Leon in Houston.
Oh,
so I did his party, his very first huge big party here before Drake became. Well, Drake was already Drake, but I was working.
You've been around Drake a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, we met him before he was like signed and everything. He went to one of the Swish House videos. He was still Jimmy from Degrassi.
Jimmy from Degrassi. So I use this. So you know what a cosign means, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some people
Heck
that
yeah.
don't, and I'm like, okay.
I co-sign a lot of people.
Okay.
I feel like this is me, and I know it. It's true. If you're with me and we're out, and I introduce you to someone,
Right.
that's a cosign.
That is because
That's like I'm saying, KG, meet so and so. This is what he does. This is what you do, and that's all I do.
That's that
I
stamp.
just literally, and then magic happens, and it's just so many amazing things that happen.
But
so I love that.
There's a lot of power in a cosign. Like, just like that connection, like, okay, I know this guy, I know this person, I put them together.
Like Yvonne works with them?
Yeah, exactly.
KG works with them? What? They must be good.
Exactly. And I used Drake as a perfect example because, I mean, this is just a story out here. I don't know if it's like the authentic story, but I use this. So I want to say it was Jay Prince. It was Jay Prince who listened to Drake first that told Lil Wayne, right? So that cosign from Jay Prince telling Lil Wayne he had to listen to Drake changed the trajectory of Drake's life. Although I heard that at first Lil Wayne wasn't feeling him and it came back, him still putting his name out there essentially got him flown to Houston, launched the deal. So that's one of those cosigns that's where like those little cosigns can change
lives. Yeah, for sure.
So those are like stories we want to tell. Like we want to tell stories of entrepreneurs like before they got huge, how they got like how we kind of co-signed them or somebody else co-signed them. Or even figure out like, you know, like who's the first person to co-sign you that kind of helps you in the trajectory.
David Anderson.
What's his name?
David Anderson.
Okay, what does he do?
He was like the OG of the liquor space here. Okay. So he was the one that called me and was like, hey, you want to do this gig? They're not paying. But I'm like, nope. But Hennessy, he's also the one that put me on Hennessy. Like, I'm going to make that call. Let me see if, And so he co-signed me. And now, like, 10 years later, he's my manager now. Finally.
Shout out to David Anderson. You want a unique story? So, shout out to Maker's Mark. But Hennessy was the first liquor brand I worked with. Rome with Hennessy.
Rome!
Yeah. And that.
After you.
Yeah, and that changed.
He's still there.
Yeah, still there. That's like my. When I say relationships, that's like my brother.
Tell me your story. I want to hear.
So, well, actually, a guy named Miguel knew what I was doing with Cosign. He was like, man, I really want to introduce you to Rome. He just got this job as a curator with Hennessy, and he was throwing
money.
He was throwing we
had a lot of money.
That too, but he was throwing an event for Day of the Dead, and it was at the shoe store. And he was like, you should come visit and meet him. I met him. He was like, bro, I've been trying to, do some more stuff in the markets. I heard you do a lot of stuff. Let's do a test event together, see how it goes, and we could possibly work together. We did it. We killed it. And like now we're like best friends, but
tell Rome my service.
I'm gonna tell him. But working with Hennessy, all these other brands started to come at me. So it was Hennessy, then it was Cavassier, then I got introduced to like Beam Suntory, who has a portfolio of brands. So now I do all their brands. I've worked with Ciroc, Douce, Don Julio.
Matter.
With our relationships.
Yeah. No, And I could tell you one thing. I loved working for Hennessy. His boss she was a mentor to me too. No, they're great. I learned a lot. I learned how to build my brand. Like once you leave here, you're still Spoiled Latina. You better get it. Attitude is like what I was taught. Hennessy opened up a lot of doors.
No, he did.
Well.
I'm about to edit a lot of this, but
no,
just play.
But it's true. Like,
but it's true.
They have like, I think it's the leadership. Honestly, it's
for sure.
It's Clarabelle.
It's a great. Oh yeah. I met her one time. Amazing.
She's a great leader, and I think that's her coming in and just saying, elevate your community right now. Like pick those people that you think this is your job. Okay. Your city.
So you told us who co-signed you. Who does Yvonne co-sign?
I co-sign hardworking women who are not like competing with each other, who are really out here helping their families out, trying to change the narrative of Latinas, trying to change the cycle of their households. I probably co-sign, if I can be specific, Sarah Smith. Okay. Sarah is a dope art entrepreneur here, also from Houston. And she's just amazing. She's just a woman's like woman.
Okay.
She's a really great supporter.
What does she
her own
do?
agency. She has her own podcast agency called Speaker Box Media.
I think we got to get her to the dinner.
Oh my God, she's so good.
We have to get her to make that COSIGN connection.
I sure will.
So we can get her to the dinner.
No, she's great, and she's actually right now in Miami working on. She films podcasts and all of that all over the United States. So she's doing great stuff. So
that's awesome. So Miami,
she's a bestie.
Yeah, Miami's one of our third COSIGN homes too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do some travel stuff too next year. Like I'm expanding the Spoiled Latina events outside of Houston. Miami's one of my target cities for sure. So there's a lot of Spoiled Latinas out there.
Man, deal with them. But I love it. I do love Miami. Everybody knows that. Okay, two things. So one,
you heard my burp.
One,
it's like right here.
What is not a misconception, but what is something that people really don't know about you that you would love to share?
I'm nice.
They don't think you're nice?
I think I get like the whole she's conceited type thing, I guess because of the name. But I'm really cool. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Maybe just that. What would you think? What do you think about me that, let me see. What do you think Yvonne was?
I thought nothing but positive. I mean, it took a while to get you to, respond back.
Yeah, I'm bad at that.
Took a little while, but
I know, right? Then I was like, can I see what the set looks like?
Yeah, but the communication, once we finally got connected, it was great. Easy to work with. Like,
I'm cool, right?
Yeah, very cool, very cool. It was I was honored to even accept. So my thing is, some people, I don't want to say some people. I'm gonna say some people. Some people, like when they feel like they get to a certain.
First of all, I'm lower than you now.
It's because I'm doing I'm not gonna talk about that. I do babysit. Because I was drinking earlier too.
I haven't either.
You were?
Oh, you were drinking?
I was drinking at the event. But some people feel like when they get to a certain level of success that, they don't need to be, recognized. And I understand it's not, we don't do this for like validation.
Honestly, in the car right now, I was like, I was like, do I want to go?
I'm glad you came.
And then I said, I kind of said it to myself. I was like, this is for the betterment of my brand. Hey, let me go. Because there's people who don't know me. There are people, like literally I worked with somebody here who's like, oh, I didn't go to your event because I knew everybody that was going to be there. And I'm like, you don't know everybody that's going to be there. Yeah. We don't know everybody that lives in the city. Yeah, we think that we have 30, 40, 50,000 followers, but there's 4 million people in the city.
Right.
It's not even close. So I think, so thank you so much for sharing your platform with me.
Thank you for coming, because I do appreciate it, because I will be honest. I was telling my homie, so like Dallas, I guess because we've been in the city for so long, like,
it's hard to get people?
In Dallas, it's so easy.
Oh.
Like Dallas, I could text somebody, hey, we're doing this private, like the same day, we're doing this private event today. I have people hitting me up, I can't wait to be there.
Oh, it's because we have a lot of things to do here in Houston.
But Houston.
Y'all are at disposal in Dallas.
Houston.
Just kidding.
Look, Houston, you know how difficult it's been trying to get 10 people to sit down for 30 minutes? I just don't get it. But then I don't know if it's like, because there's a lot more opportunities out here that's like, I don't really have time, or I don't know what it is. But I'm still giving Houston a chance. I'm giving y'all,
your flowers.
My flowers, my dude. It's
gonna Dallas be Dallas. Maybe because you're from Dallas.
I shouldn't have said I'm from Dallas,
y'all.
but
I love Dallas people.
But what
are they called? Dallasites? Dallas?
I'm not from Dallas, but they are called Dallasites.
Dallasites?
Yeah, they are.
Sounds like a bug.
I mean,
that's cute though. Dallasites? Are you sure?
That's what it's called, Dallasites. Dallasites. Brace in the background trying to Google it.
Dallasonians?
No, y'all are Houstonians.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Anyway, here, take my mark. Take my drink. That's probably why he's making me.
Okay, and then my last thing before we get out of here and focus on honoring you is I want you to make a toast either to your younger self or to another Latina. So I want you to look in the camera, make a toast. What would you either tell your younger self or your current self of all the amazing things you do? What would you toast to? Yourself or somebody else?
Both. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's do it to both.
Okay.
Both. my younger self, for sure, because never thought I'd have my own mark in this world. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I always do that. And then another person, everyone, honestly, everybody's chasing their dreams, so.
I appreciate you.
Fucking makers.
Fucking makers. But before we get out of here, please give everybody your socials, where they can follow you, where they can support you, your events. She's an amazing woman.
I am.
You definitely want to support. If you're in Houston, or not even Houston, if you're in Dallas, we travel.
Everywhere.
The next time she hosts the Spoiled Latina Summit.
We're doing one in Dallas, and so
Okay. I know a guy.
We'll do something together.
I know a guy.
I do too. I do too.
I know a guy.
We know a few.
Yeah.
We know that girl too.
We do.
We do.
We do. And she worked with us too.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got our own little family.
Happen.
For sure. But yes, give them your socials, websites, so they can follow you, stay in touch, because I really want to make sure this isn't just a one-time thing. I want to make sure we continue to support, make sure our community continues to support you. So let them have it so we can stay on it.
Okay, so my social media is Spoiled Latina everywhere, except on TikTok. I forgot my password, so I had to create the Spoiled Latina.
Okay.
So that's it. It's Spoiled Latina. But thank you again for the opportunity to sit down and share a little bit of my story. I probably overspoke.
No, you did amazing.
But
You did amazing. So I'm gonna do my cheers
to
Yvonne, to you. Thank you for taking the time to be here. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for co-signing, supporting, and highlighting Latinas. Like I said, I'm Afro-Latino, but my daughter is Latina as well. So I always try to show, examples of women who are making their own mark, so she understands that she doesn't have to go the traditional way if she doesn't, deem to or doesn't want to.
No, yeah.
So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you for, accepting our co-sign award, and I look forward to getting to know you in the city more.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, y'all take it easy.